What's going on, my friends? I hope that you are well. Excuse me for a second, I just ate a handful of peanuts. But anyway, I'm still doing my thing. I'm still waiting on the county for the other. I'd say we got about a week or two, at least. In the meantime, I've been doing some research, working on some things, trying to rally up. You know, I've got to really get on trying to rally up somebody who's going to do the plumbing rough out with me. I've got a feeling that the county may tell me I need to hire a plumber, and that's okay because I'm going to do it anyway, which is fine. I'll just get all that stuff taken care of. I've been doing a lot of other research, some things I've got to do, and some things they don't talk about when you're doing tiny homes, building your own house, a shed to tiny home conversion like I'm doing. How to prepare things for that house and stuff to treat it with. What you may not realize is when you get a house built, at least these days versus 2 years ago, they treat your house for termites on the wood. And I think this stuff's called BoreCare or BoraCare. It's called Borate. B-O-R-A-T-E. And you really want to, if you're going to build something on your own or do this, even if you're having your house built, you want to make sure it's being done. You want to make sure from the floor all the way up to about 2 to 4 feet high, you want to make sure that stuff treated on those studs and any exposed wood. You also want to treat, if your house is up from a crawl space, you want to treat the underside of the house, which I intend to do on that wood. I also am going to treat it with the Borate and go behind it with some water seal around the edges on the other side to make sure that we don't have any problems with it, because I intend to brick over that where the 2x12 floor joists come in, but water can still get in there. We're going to caulk that opening or that crevice where the brick meets the siding of the house. You need to do that. It's an outdoor caulk, which you'd probably have to keep up with every few years. But treating all that for moisture and mold and stuff, that Borate has an agent that treats for termites, carpenter ants, a few other things, beetles, mold and mildew and stuff like that. So you want to treat it. And there are videos on YouTube about it. So I've been researching that, and there's just several things that I've got to do. So once we get this thing put into motion, I'll have some work I've got to get done, and we'll get it done. That we will. But anyway, I'm just waiting on all that. I figure I'd check in. All is well. Looking forward to get this process started, even though it's going to be a lengthy process. But we're going to get it done. We're going to get it done indeed. As soon as I hear something from the county, I will update my next step in this process. I think it would be cool. And then I can start documenting this build. So I know a lot of people watching go, when's it going to get started? Well, the process is that, you know, I've got the plans and all the stuff with the county. I told you in the last video that we do have some progress because my erosion protection form was all approved. The encroachment for the driveway with the state, which was with the county, but it had to be with the state because it's a state-maintained road. That's all approved. He said, you don't need one. It's already done. I don't even know why they sent you to me. So, so we've got that all into motion. Everything is cool. Other than that, I guess I mentioned the power company's good to go. We're good to go there. The only difference is it's not going to cost me to put the poles in unless I run anything into the ground. So if he said, if you want to go from that second pole, because being the distance is going to be 2 poles on the property line they have to put up, it's going to cost you about $800 if I've got to run it in the ground to your house. So I'm going to think about that and see, talk to the electrician. But I'm probably just going to say, hey, listen, above the meter, we'll just put the meter on the house, just be done with it. No big deal. Just run a little pole, make sure it extends up to at least 13 feet, and they can run the wire that way. That's just $800 I'm not spending on something else. But I may decide to put it in the ground and run it up. I don't know. We'll see. Either way, power's going to be good to go. I got the guy's number. He said, call me directly, and you're about ready to get all this rolling, and we'll get it done. Which finally got a direct number from the power company. That was trying to get those guys on the line was a chore, so we got that done. other than that, I'm telling you guys, it could be the smallest house to the biggest. It's an ordeal. It takes some work doing this stuff. But I don't know how these guys are just rolling it in, throwing it on blocks, tying it down, and doing what they want. Not every state works like that. In most states, it doesn't work like that. How they're getting around building permits is beyond all. And I can tell you guys, so far in this process, first piece of advice, just do everything right. Do what your local and governments tell you to do, and just do it. Go through the motions. Be honest with them. Listen, this is what's helped me a lot here. I've been transparent with these guys, telling them what I'm doing. The only difference is that I have to make sure that the architect engineer draws the plans, that it's framed and built right, because they're going to go by what they say. It all has to be done to code. In other words, most of these sheds that you buy on the lot, the floor joist system is only a 2x6. And if it's a cheaply made 2x4, it's not good. It's not strong enough. You go put it on blocks and it's not set right, floor is going to cave in. You know, it's a lot of things it's just susceptible to that building may not last. If it's not built right, for wind conditions, if you're in a wind zone, you got to take all these things into account if you're gonna do this. It's not really as easy as some people are making it out to be. I see these guys on these Facebook forums. If you go to these, if there's something you're interested in, these shed to tiny home conversion Facebook forums, I just can't believe some of the stuff I see and going, how are these people not getting nipped by building code? And what it is some of these guys have their own land out in the middle of South Texas somewhere, where on their own land, I guess they can do what they want. And maybe they tie the power in with their own power of their house or something. They have a septic tank and maybe they can get water. But they're doing it without their local authority knowing about it, I guess. I don't know. It's the only thing I can think. But I'm looking at like they're just bringing the building in and not looking at it has to have residential windows. You've got to have certain things that are not just because it's code, but safety. You need bigger windows. You get caught in that thing, God forbid it catches fire, you got to get out of that thing. You don't want windows you can't get out of. It's not safe. You got to think about your own safety. Regardless of whether your local government does or not, you got to think about your own. You got to be careful. You got to think this one through. You got to think about as if it's your actual house being built. You got to do your research and know what's safe and what's not. And those windows are very important. You got to do it. Don't assume that it's going to be all that good, because the windows that come with those sheds are single pane. They're awful. You don't want that. You do not want that. You got to do this thing right the first time, because that can become a nightmare, even worse. If you got to go back and put bigger windows in there and you finished it, the sheetrock, and you got to cut all that stuff out, it could cause a mess, a real big mess. Anyway, I'm babbling here. I'm going to get off. But I will keep you guys posted. I appreciate you guys for watching. And hopefully we can get this process started soon. Be cool. Bye.